Hi there, my name's John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, time to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer or the kids' room or the garage. You know how we've been doing it. Thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregations and your family. Thank you. You are rocking it. I just realized I said congregations, plural, which could be, and I said family, singular, which it could be, but I meant congregation and families. Anyway, you are rocking it. I am in Las Vegas right now. I am at Magic Live, which is the largest magic convention in the United States. There's a couple that are bigger in the world, FISM, which is the Olympics of Magic, and Blackpool, and both large magic conventions. But I'm here geeking out, and it's sleight of hand magic. I think if you've been watching this for a little bit, you know that that's a passion of mine. I love that way of storytelling and a way of bringing astonishment and awe. Anyway, this is for the narrative lectionary, and we're still in the Daniel series, and we are in with Daniel and the Lions, another one of those classic stories that you might have heard growing up. And make the assumption that we all grew up in the church, but that is not the case. But it is one of those classic Sunday school stories. Yeah. So thinking about this, I'm like, how do we do a children's sermon around this? I mean, really, and because it's like, here we are, get thrown in the and so I'm looking at telling a story about how you had to do something hard, that it was something that you were called to do hard things. We are called to do hard things, whether that be telling a story about in school when you were called to speak up for somebody, where you were called to stand up for someone who was being bullied, when you were called to go against what was popular. You were called, maybe it's in your job that you were called to speak up for something that was against something that was unethical, or maybe it was a point in your life where you're like, you know what, for my health, I need to give up. For my health, I need to do this. And, yeah, I need to give up sugar, or I need to. 8 years ago, I quit drinking, and that's a hard thing. And so to talk about that, whether I talk about that, and I'm pretty open in the congregation. They know that I don't drink. They know I quit drinking. I've been at Zion for 12 years, and I have been sober for 8. So 4 years into my call at Zion, I quit drinking, and I'm very open about that, because the stuff I just don't want. It's not healthy for me to hide, and it's not. There's no reason to hide, but it's not easy. So talk about some of that, the day-to-day, doing the hard things, because Daniel, who makes the decision to worship God when it has been made illegal to worship God, that becomes a hard thing. And it might not seem like to us, we look at Daniel and goes, well, but to make that decision to go, this is what I'm going to do, and he ends up going into the lion's den. And the story out of Daniel is God saves his life, God walks with him, God closes the mouth of the lion. And so we can talk about how when we are called to do hard things, we know that Jesus walks with us. We know that God walks with us. And this is where, we're kind of looking at it where we're not talking about, it's like, oh, God is calling you to be put into harm's way. If there's, I'm thinking about the larger sermon, and I'm thinking about the kids' sermon, but to be clear that this is not to say the hard thing that we do is to stay in an abusive relationship. That's my cross to bear, that doesn't cut the mustard. That's abuse, and God does not condone it. No. In that, but when we are called to do hard things, there's the point where we're uncomfortable because, I need to speak up for the kid who is being bullied. I need to um, speak up for the kid that has to hear homophobic or racist uh, terms from an adult teacher. There are points where we get put in, we are called to do hard things, and that we believe that we are called to do that because that's what God is leading us to do, because that's the just and equitable and um, ultimately grace filled way that we treat one another with kindness and with love. And so we are called to do hard things. And we believe that our God does walk with us in those moments. So it's there, it's, yeah, as you can tell, I'm on a hon, and there's depth here, and we need to be careful with the direction we go. But we are called to do hard things, and we are called to speak up for our brothers and sisters. And I believe that that's a direction where we can take this, and it's a springboard for your own children's sermon. So I'm hoping that can be useful. Daniel is quite the book, and we are 3 Sundays in, and I believe we have 2 more. So there we are. All right. I'm hoping this can be useful. Again, thank you ultimately for the love that you are sharing with your kids and your congregations and your families. You are rocking it, my friends. Yeah. Peace. I'll see you next week.